we now have the opportunity to reflect on the journey that we have traversed. We are indeed at the end of the extraordinary summit. The coming into effect of the AFC FTA is a historic milestone in the long walk towards African integration. At its core is a developmental approach that seeks to liberalize trade, to build value chains and overcome the infrastructure deficit of the continent. Our commitment is one of the fastest growing markets in the world, with a projection of more than 1 billion customers. The AfCFTA brings with it the promise of new beginnings and increased opportunities for our continent and its people. We reaffirm our optimism that the AfCFTA will leverage on these opportunities by attracting more foreign trade, more direct investment, and expedite the implementation of post-COVID-19 economic recovery plans. If the AfCFTA is to succeed, we have to overcome the political and socio-economic challenges that face our continent. We have to address issues of poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment on our continent. We have to address issues of security and instability, which are causing untold suffering for the African people and holding us back from realizing our full potential. We have to renew our collective commitment to realizing the aspirations of the African Agenda, Agenda 2063. And we should not waver in our resolve to meet the Sustainable Development Goals by the end of this decade. Progress will not be achieved without economic development and the economic integration of Africa through the AfCFTA. I call upon your excellencies to continue to support the African Union Commission and the AfCFTA Secretariat as we move towards the second phase of negotiations. I wish to commend all ministers of trade and negotiators for their dedication and hard work in always trying to find common ground and arriving at implementable solutions. It was Nelson Mandela who reminded us that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. And he continues to say, I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, he says, for with freedom come responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended. This is so descriptive of where we are, because this extraordinary summit has given us a moment here to rest for a while, but it has also given us a moment to steal a view of the amount of work that we have achieved. It has enabled us to look at the decisions that we have taken, to look at the declaration, the Johannesburg Declaration, just to inform us that we have traveled a long distance. But it also means that we can only rest just for a moment. For with this acceptance and adoption of this Johannesburg Declaration comes responsibilities, and we dare not linger. Let us not falter and let us not tire, for the prize that we have sought to win is within our reach. Let us only rest when we have achieved what we set out to achieve. Your Excellencies, our plans for the coming into effect of the AFCTA were momentarily disrupted by the devastating coronavirus pandemic. As we continue to battle this public health crisis, we are determined to remain firmly on the path of progress. In confronting this pandemic, we came together as never before. We have shown just what we Africans are capable of achieving when we stand united. Let us, in the same spirit of unity and solidarity, take forward the coming into effect of the ACFTA and drive the post-pandemic economic recovery effort. I thank you all for your attendance and for all those who have made this virtual session of the African Assembly possible. I now have the honor and the pleasure of declaring this 13th extraordinary session of the Assembly of the Heads of State and Government on the African Continental Free Trade Area officially closed. I thank you for your attendance, and you may go home now after this long day at work. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.